Hi guys! Well, today we're going to do a project that has been a favorite at the school, and that project is paper beads. And I'm going to show you 2 or 3 different ways to make paper beads. That way, if you've already done the project, you'll have it from a different angle. And I'm also going to show you some different uses for your paper beads, a couple different ways to use it. So, things that you might need. You're going to need scissors. Now, I have these adult scissors, but if all you have are child scissors, they work just fine. And you're going to need some glue, and you're going to need you might want a ruler. You don't have to have a ruler. It depends on which style of beads you end up making. And you need something that we can roll the paper on. It can be a pencil, it can be a paper clip if you want a really tight bead that you straightened out. It could be the end of a paintbrush, it could be a straw, it could be a toothpick if that's all you have. Anything that is a smooth stick can be used for this part of the project. You're going to need some glue. I think I might have already said that. And paper. Any kind of paper will do, with the exception of tissue paper, paper towels. Those brown paper towels like you see in schools will work just fine, but the regular paper towels, the white kind like you get from the store, not so great. You can use party streamer if that's what you have. I have found a piece of paper right here with cool animal skins on it, and I'm going to use that. It can be the page out of a coloring book. Maybe you don't want the picture anymore. You can use that for beads. Ooh, there's another cool animal skin one. Well, here's a piece of a notepad. I could use that. A piece of construction paper. A newspaper would even work. Junk mail. If you have some mail, something that comes in the mail and it's a colorful paper, ask your parents before you go to cutting it up, but you can even use that. So let's talk about how to make the paper beads. And as you can see on the board behind me, my bracelets, those are all made of paper. The beads can be used to make bracelets, they can be used to make necklaces. I'm even wearing a paper bead in my hair. So if you like to wear braids, you can slide the paper bead onto your braid, and then you can secure it with a small hair tie or rubber band under it, and you can have colorful beads for your hair even. And all of those who have me in class, you know how I like to put beads in my hair. So, they can also be used for dream catchers and different types of decorations for your home. So let's talk about how to get started. So, if you'll watch, there are 2 kinds. You can do one, the triangular kind. Now when you do the triangular kind of bead, you want all your beads to be the same length. So or the same width, I'm sorry. Or maybe not. Maybe you want some fat and some skinny. Maybe you want some wider than others. But I'm going to make my beads 1 inch apart. So I'm going to come along through here, and I'm going to put a mark at 1 inch. And maybe I want my beads to be, how many inches long do I want them to be? Now notice when you're measuring, you want to start your ruler at that first mark before you get to the 1. You want to start your ruler there. Okay, so for those who've never used a ruler before, I'm going to use just exact measurements. Maybe I want my beads to be, I'm going to make it out to 3 inches. So I'm going to make it in a triangular shape, and this is the harder bead. So I'm going to start from this corner, and I'm going to measure it up to my little mark, and I get a triangle. Now I'm going to want all of my beads to be the same size, and to make that easy, I can now use this first one, this first triangle, as a pattern to draw the other ones. So you get the picture on that, and I'm going to have to flip it each time I do that. So you get the idea of how to go about doing this so that you can have beads that are the same size, unless you actually want some beads larger than others, which you can totally do, and it looks really cool. So after you make yourself several beads, you can cut them out. Now, let's lay these triangles to the side, and I'm going to show you a second way that you can cut your paper to get a totally different look on your beads. So let's say that I want some beads not to be the exact same. I don't want them to have, I want them to be smoother. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my beads in a rectangle shape. I'm just going to cut a straight rectangle. And this is by far the easiest way to do your beads. But which one you choose is entirely up to you. Now, let's say that you have all of the paper strips that you want. The next step is to choose something to roll your beads on. Now here at school, we rolled them up on a straw and then we simply cut the straw. But at home, you might not have a straw handy, so use what you have. So let's say that I don't have a straw, but since I'm an artist, I have lots of paintbrushes around my house. You might have a toothpick or even a paper clip. Paper clips are a little harder and they give you a really skinny hole to stick your thread through. So I'm going to use this paintbrush. I'm going to roll it and roll it and roll it, and I just keep on rolling. See that? See what I'm doing? See how I'm just rolling it? Now when I get almost to the end and I have a little tail, I'm going to use my glue and I'm going to put glue on the end and I'm going to fasten my bead. Then I slide my bead right off of whatever it was I rolled it up on. And as you can see, you could easily get a thread right through that bead. Or you could even get a braid right through that bead. And I'll proceed to do all of my beads that way. If you're doing the triangular shape, you want to start at the wide end. You want to put the wide end on whatever it is that you're rolling, and you want to start rolling at the wide end. You'll have to pinch it down with your fingers like this, and you'll have to just roll. You have to keep a good tight grip on it. When you get almost to the end and you have a little tail sticking out, you're going to want to put glue on your tail. And you want to press your tail down and then slide it off of whatever it is you rolled it on. Then of course, that one, always remember when you finish your project, you're going to roll your glue down and snap your lid on it. Now let's suppose that I have made a lot of beads and I want to make something out of my beads. Then I could string my beads up on a string, a piece of elastic if you have one, a piece of leather, a piece of yarn, whatever you have handy, you can string your beads up on that. You can then you can cut your beads. You can cut your beads loose after, cut your string loose and tie it after that. I didn't make enough beads to go ahead and string it up and show you how to tie it yet, but you string your beads up and you tie it like I've done with these bracelets. Now let's suppose that you've completely finished. Here's one that's coming loose, and I'm going to show you a trick to help you with the beads that tend to come loose. Let me first of all re-glue it. Some of our students wore their bead bracelets for a week before they became frayed. So I'm going to show you a way to help them not to fray apart like this as time goes by. Okay, so I'm repairing the loose ends on this one. And then I'm going to show you how to fix it. So you glue your loose ends back, but how to keep your beads colorful or even to add color. I use fingernail polish. Now I have clear fingernail polish because obviously colored fingernail polish will change the color of your beads. And if you want the color of your beads changed, that's perfectly okay. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint my bead with this clear fingernail polish. Notice that I'm holding it on both ends so that I don't get the polish all over my fingers. Now my bead is nice and shiny, and it will dry nice and shiny. Now, before you get your mom's fingernail polish or your grandma's fingernail polish, make sure that you have permission. Now, how can I dry my bead? Well, I'm just going to have to very carefully set my bead on end like that, and they will set on end. The rectangular ones will. These you may have to string them up, hang your string up, and then paint them. So that may be what you'll have to do. You may have to paint them on the string, hang your string up, and let your beads dry. Okay, let's go over those steps, those how-to steps, one more time. And I hope you have a great time making your beads. Remember, step 1, cut your paper into triangular or rectangular strips so you can have them shaped either way, like a triangle or a rectangle. Roll them onto a straw or a pencil or whatever long cylinder shaped thing you have to roll them on. Then glue the ends in place. You'll slide them off of what you rolled them on and put them on a string or on your hair or to decorate different things with. I have beads hanging off my guitar. I decorate my guitar strap with the beads. So whatever you want to use them for, you can use them for. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how your bead making goes. I look forward to hearing from you. Click like and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.